Hey guys, welcome to Pajama Let's Play. I'm Michelle, host of Pajama Let's Play, where we talk all things Kingdom Hearts. Today, I'm going to focus on the entity Darkness and their unknown companion, Malice. But before we get into all that, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. You can also follow me on Twitch and check out my Patreon. All of those links are in the description box down below. I will be covering spoilers in this video, so feel free to catch up on the Union Cross story and then come back to this. For everyone else, this theory comes from a subscriber named Hillary. She posted this comment here, and it sparked several video topics for me, so I'm breaking it down into segments. Today's topic is Malice as an entity just like Darkness. Let's start with the scene that sparked her theory.
Oh, right. Before I forget, if a wielder is overcome by malice, or rather if their heart is tainted by darkness, their adorable little spirit will turn dark and become a nightmare.
The Master of Masters starts by saying the word malice, but changes it to the word darkness. We know about the entity Darkness and how it works more or less, but malice is not a word that is used often. It's almost like a word that shouldn't be said. So I looked it up, and the definition of malice, basically, is the intent to commit an act that will negatively affect another person. It sounds a lot like darkness, only being put into motion. It's kind of like the physical energy in a body. Darkness would be like the potential energy of evil, while malice would be the kinetic energy of evil. So, darkness and malice are two similar yet separate entities, at least in the context of the Kingdom Hearts series. If there's an entity called darkness, then surely there's an entity called malice. In fact, Ephemer can even feel its presence in this scene. Ephemer distinguishes that it's not the same darkness as they're used to, and uses the word intent, which is the key word in the definition for malice used earlier. Most of us have dark thoughts often, but rarely intend to act on them. When someone makes the decision to act upon the thought, then it becomes malice. As Ephemer noted, malice is more complex because it's not only the emotion that led to the thought, it requires other emotions and brain functions to formulate a plan to enact the thought. So where is this entity? Well, I believe that is the true nature of dark charity. Let's remember, when a heart is tainted by darkness, but not overcome by malice, the wielder's charity turns into a darker shade of gray, like in this scene. When a person's heart is overcome by malice, I believe that's when they turn into a heartless and their normal charity disappears. However, we find out in the Dark Charity reveal that the player actually has two charities, not just one. Not only is he purple instead of gray, he acts freely. And he used that word intention again. It seems to me that since there's darkness in all hearts, it allows a path for malice if pushed enough. The entity darkness uses people to spread itself and multiply, allowing seeds of malice to be planted along with it. So, if a heart is tainted by darkness, a second, darker gray charity is formed. Then, it stands to reason that the purple dark charity occurs when a heart's darkness is replaced with malice, and it enters that darker charity and uses it as a vessel to act freely according to its own intentions. Both darkness and malice, thankfully, are open to being interviewed, because the players have to get the information somehow. Let's get a quick reminder of darkness having its conversation with Brain. That is a very different persona than we saw with Dark Charity. It works with the collective, has no goal, and simply wants to exist and get to know the wielders better, presumably to spread more easily. It's calm, defends itself without fighting back, and seems far more neutral than the Malice in Dark Charity. Malice must be a separate entity, choosing to act through a charity. So then, there is one more question left to answer. Why do none of the characters talk about Malice? I think the Master of Masters answered that with his slip when explaining charity to the foretellers. Since then, I haven't found another example of the word being used. The only explanation I have for this is that the Master of Masters doesn't want memories of Malice, the entity, in the future, and he hopes avoiding the word altogether will avoid the entity. The problem is, you can't erase Malice any more than you can erase darkness, or light for that matter. It's inherent to human nature to have malice, because it serves many evolutionary purposes. I do believe we will get to see Malice the entity at some point in these games, and the Master of Masters will not be pleased, though also won't be surprised. So what do you think? Is Malice a separate entity? How do you think that could be applied to games outside of Union Cross? Tell me all about your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all of the things I'm supposed to ask you to do. You can find them in the description box down below. Until next time.